What up, world? It's your boy J Star back again with the Saturday final look at this slate, man. Here, this two-game, battle is gonna be here. I think at least three of these teams are actually battling for like playoffs and stuff like that. So should be definitely the first game. I know is a big playoff, decider and stuff like that. And then we know Buffalo is still out of it, so they're kind of looking at this game and I don't know who they really want to win because they both kind of in the same record area. I feel like, but Buffalo is trying to get into that wild card spot, so they definitely need. I think for sure. I know they think they would need Pittsburgh to lose because I believe Cincinnati is like, but they're I swear their records are like almost exactly the same here. So it's just gonna be a crazy game right there. Period. Just because it is a rivalry too, so I'm expecting that game to be defensively, but at the same time, I do expect some good offensive production here. So getting into this one here, let's also go through some injuries to report because I believe there are some. Let's see. So I already know about Chase being out. Then we got Minka Fitzpatrick is going to be out, and as well as I thought it was one more person here, Trenton Thompson. So the backup for Minka Fitzpatrick is even out too. So I don't know who they're really rolling with as their safety in the backfield there. It's probably going to lead to some type of deep, I would say, threat, catch or something like that from some type of receiver because of that. In the second game, though, we have, I believe everybody except for Micah Hyde is going to be out for the Bills. And then it was Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, Dean Leonard, which is going to be their cornerback. And then I believe one more thing. Okay, and then Tanner Muse is going to be out, which the Dean Leonard is the most important thing there. And of course, oh, my bad. Bassey is also going to be, he was a full participant at practice, but he is trying to recover from a concussion, which is more like their slot area cornerback there. But Dean Leonard is the most biggest deal, if anything, because of the fact that he lines up with Stephon Diggs. So I'm expecting a huge Diggs game because of that. So just getting into this like we was earlier this week with the first look, it looks like it's going to be, so from the Browning side of things, the way people are attacking and getting, the most production against the Steelers is going out wide and then into the slot area. Little bit of pass catching back, so I would say Mixon and Chase Brown here are both going to be in play for that part. But when it comes to the out wide, we're looking at T. Higgins. When it comes to the slot, we're looking at Boyd. Maybe if you're looking for, a super value play, you got these two right here. Irwin, of course, I would think is kind of edges out because we've seen him actually produce and be a person they go to soon as one of the wideout receivers is out when it comes to Higgins or Chase. So I would think they would look at Irwin. I think also though Hudson is going to be a good play too, just because the targets is just going to continue to be there for him at 3,600. If you're trying to be a little bit contrarian to the two top tight ends, I don't mind taking a shot at Hudson. They are going to be looking for, I think, other weapons to perform well here since Chase is out. I do expect a heavy volume going to Higgins, but I think, one of these other options here, they're going to be looking for it to hit because you are going against a rivalry. So they know you very well. They're going to at least try their hardest to try to take away Higgins, so somebody else is going to have to perform big here, even if it is some of the running backs too as well. But, I would kind of think Hudson would be more the safest bet to me. Boyd also, of course, we've seen him have break free, like I said, last week. I think it was like a 40-yard catch or something like that after he broke a tackle and something like that late in the game. So we know that's capable. He's capable of doing that. But Irwin's usually that person they look for deep threats. So I think taking a top off the defense or something big play like that with Minka Fitzpatrick being out and the backup safety too as well for him, look for something like a Irwin probably getting deep down the field on something like that. I think they will first try to take advantage of it with Higgins, so he'll definitely have the first shot and the more volume for that to happen. But I definitely think somebody like Irwin could benefit for something like that. Also, I would think means it's a good situation for Hudson because Minka Fitzpatrick usually is the person sticking the tight end. So that also that makes me think like Hudson, Higgins, and then I probably would say Irwin before I even say Boyd here. So that's how I look at it from that side. And then from the other side here, we got Mason Rudolph. His favorite targets when he was playing was his tight end. So I'm gonna say Fryermuth is gonna be play, and Deontay Johnson was like a rookie, and he was one of his favorite targets too. So I'm looking at these two being more of his favorite, people that I feel like is gonna produce the best here. I would also say, because I believe it's Bengals have been okay, and then the tight. Oh, we already got the tight end, wide receiver, and then the slot two area for them. So the only thing is this team doesn't have a slot receiver, so that does suck there because they really do not have any slot receiver to say we would attack with. You could take shots at Robinson if you think so. Calvin Austin hasn't really been used in the slot. He's when he comes in, he's kind of been out wide. So it's kind of hard to say. I would think Deontay Johnson is the receiver that takes most advantage of it. I don't mind taking shots too at Pickens. We know how explosive of a player he is, being that everybody's picking on him right now with not blocking for his running back. He probably would try to perform well to, shut everybody up or something like that. So I could see him doing something too for 4,700 if it's not Deontay Johnson taking advantage of out wide and in the slot, because he is that route running receiver that can do both of those things. And we know Cincinnati is really bad against tight ends, so I definitely see Fryermuth being able to perform. If I had to pick a running back from this side, I think I would. I know Najee did really good the last time, and he was only 1 yard short of a 100-yard bonus and everything like that. But I think Rudolph, I could have swore like it was like he likes to dump it to like running backs, and I feel like that's more of a Jalen Warren and stuff like that. So I kind of would lean a little more Jalen Warren than going to Najee here. Moving on though to the last game here, we got the Chargers in Buffalo. I don't think the Chargers are really playing for anything anymore. They just switched their coach, fired their coach and everything because they probably got eliminated the last game. So Easton Stick, the team seems like they are happy about, moving forward with the new coach and everything like that. So I'm expecting a little bit more better energy that we saw freaking, oh my God, against the Raiders. What was that, Thursday night game or something like that? Palmer is going to be, one of the best plays for them, I see, because of the fact that he is the receiver that actually moves into the slot, which against the Bills is supposed to be the slot, and the pass catching back is where people are getting the most production at and trying to attack them. So we're definitely looking at Eckler. We're definitely looking at somebody like a Palmer, since he is the one that's moving in the slot. Also, I saw for like a cheap play, I think Guyton was also in the slot area. So possibly, Guyton could hit if he gets deep down the field and they actually, hit on one of those plays to him. I wonder, though, with the new coaching, are we going to get some more targets to Quentin Johnston in a game like this? Like, it doesn't really mean anything, but it feels like, you would try to end your season off strong with your rookie who could become, one of the faces of, their receiving weapon core on this team. And they plan on, I'm sure, to do that since he was their first round pick. So I don't mind, thinking that, possibly he does get a crazy amount of targets now with the new coaching or something like that. Game plan might change a lot in this game because of that. Plus, they're in a game where they're going to have to put up a lot of points to even compete at all. Everett is a decent play. I don't mind, but both of these tight ends have shown that mostly they're touchdown or bust. So that's the only thing. Even with Everett getting the targets, he's just not explosive or anything, showing anything like that. I would even, take a Quentin Johnston before I probably take the tight ends over here. And that's probably about it from that side. When it comes to Buffalo side, I think it's all systems go over here. James Cook should be, I know he's going to be crazy heavily owned, and it's rightfully so because this is a team that you're supposed to attack them with the pass catching back. He's been killing pass catching touchdowns and things like that. It's not even just that, too. It's more like the actual yards he's getting, 42, 83, 57. Like, we don't see this a lot, even from pass catching backs that we like and enjoy to play all the time. Like, their yards are usually in this 29 area, stuff like that. He's been actually exploding for like crazy yards. Not only that, getting a touchdown too. So definitely, James Cook is going to be a good play there. When it outside of that, I spoke about it before this, started this whole slate, that Diggs has a backup cornerback matchup. So anytime that happens, come on now. We know number one receiver lines up over there, gets that first, shot to perform very well. Coming off of, some very low performances. Even this 19 isn't really great. So I'm expecting him to, explode for at least a nice 28 fantasy points here. I know the game scenario Could also go in a way where James Cook ends up being able to rush, and put the game away. But I just think Diggs will actually get his points before that happens. I don't also mind thinking that Gabe Davis also gets a shot, deep down the field. Lines up on the left side too as well, where Dean Leonard was supposed to be at, and takes advantage of it just as much as what Diz could. So this could just be, a game where they kind of run over the Chargers. We just saw the Chargers get run over freaking 40 plus points and stuff like that. I don't see why Buffalo wouldn't be trying to do the same when they're still outside of the playoffs. They need to be, hitting on all cylinders right now. So definitely see like all these receivers being in play. Definitely the running back. I don't know too much about. I think Kincaid is priced a little super high to me. I would rather have Knox, especially even if he just caught like 2 or 3 catches at 2,700. I don't see that really failing me. But getting only 2 or 3 catches, I need touchdowns then with Kincaid. So that's the only thing. And I think the touchdowns in this game will come from the receivers and of course the running back here before it kind of comes to the tight end in this one. So after going over all that, man, just looking at making this final look lineup here for y'all. Let's see. So I think I'm definitely once again leaning to going with Josh Allen. I think we saw last week he finally kind of failed everybody with the 16 points. 21 points ain't really that great either, but we know what we can get out of him. 43 points. 23 is decent, but I'm thinking like we probably get a 30-point game because of the fact that his number one receiver is going against a backup. Definitely want to get Diggs in this lineup. I think my first look lineup, I did not have Diggs, but now that we see that the cornerback is going to be out on his side, definitely got to roll with that. I'm going to go ahead and have James Cook. I know this is going to be very chalk, super 70% own or something like that in a 2-gamer especially. Try to figure out where I'm going to go somewhat contrarian of a play here. Let's see what we got. See what we can do here. Possibly, okay, because I think I'm definitely taking Higgins, which that's going to be another chalk play. I guess I'm probably going to get it with my tight end right here. So take Knox, which should be definitely getting off a lot of the chalk on this slate here because there's a lot of good tight ends that I know everybody will definitely be picking, especially like a Freiermuth is probably going to be heavily owned. Hudson, I even feel like it's going to be pretty decently owned. I think the Chargers tight ends, will have some ownership, but they'll probably be a pretty lower than, I would say these two for sure. And then, of course, Kincaid. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Knox then. I'm going to go my running back play. I'm going to go ahead and take Harris this time. I think he might be a little bit lower owned just because it is a toss-up of, which running back is going to be. So I think I can get a little different there. At receiver, let's see, my one more receiver here. I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson. Try to take one of the favorite targets, I think, from being Freiermuth, I feel like could be, but definitely it was some chemistry for sure with Rudolph, with Deontay Johnson. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. When it comes to my flex here, we got 7,000. I'm going to go ahead and take my defense. I'm going to go with the Steelers defense here. Since I got that running back here, I'm going to try to match that stack there together with Deontay Johnson. And then I'm going to end this off with the 4,000 play in, where is he at? Quentin Johnston. So what didn't get picked there. So Quentin Johnston, I'm going to go ahead and go with that. Hopefully he does get some added targets, with the new coaching and things like that. And he could benefit from this game being probably a blowout type of situation. They're trying to run it back with some big plays. They're going to need, from Palmer and Johnston to step up. I feel like the most could end up pushing away Eckler from being, viable at the end of the game when they're getting blown out. But I definitely see somebody like Quentin Johnston still staying in the game for the long run and trying to produce probably possibly his best game, matter of fact. So I really like this play here. That's my final look, man. Hopefully this really helps y'all out. It's your boy J Star, and I'm out. Peace, y'all.